Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Oh, there you go. So nice.
Welcome back.
Oh, the theme to Welcome Back, Cotter, which we brought up in the previous segment, sung by...
I
don't know Donnie's name. We just talked about it. John Sebastian. Oh, John Sebastian, yeah. Who was the front man, if I'm not mistaken, for the Love and Spoonful. Who had a big hit, among others, Do You Believe in Magic, in the 60s. I'm going way back. You know who would remember all of this? Who? John Shannon. Oh, yeah. NHL Analyst co-host of the Bob McCowan podcast. He joins us now. How are you, sir?
Unfortunately, Donnie, you're right.
Yeah.
I do remember it. And it took me a long time to realize that he was the lead man for the Love and Spoonful. So, yeah. And by the way, can I just say something?
Yeah, yes, of course.
So I'm not at home today.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, the Czech News live stream.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah. It is. No, it is. It's a great website. The guys tell the IT guys they did a hell of a job at Czech.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Man, you're going to be on here twice a week if you keep that talk up, John.
Well,
I appreciate it.
Listen, I want to wear one of Rick's shirts, though. That's what I want. I want to wear
you
one.
You should be wearing one, and you're on holidays.
Yeah.
Hey, and we thank you for joining us as a result.
Excuse me. I'm on assignment.
Assignment. Ooh. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now you bring up Welcome Back, Cotter. Now you got me saying Carter. Thanks a lot. It falls into the category of television. As hard as it, and I'm going back a bit here, John, and I apologize for that. As hard as it was to watch what Bruce Boudreau went through Saturday night, would you not agree that it was outstanding television? There was all sorts of drama there.
Oh, I mean, listen, that's even Friday night where the chants started in the third period, Saturday night with the the Bruce chants, and then Bruce staying out on the bench at the end of the game and applauding. That was, that's why sports is the original reality show, the original reality program, and it was as close to anything that I've seen in this business hockey-wise since Roger Nielsen and the alleged paper bag. So, which was in March of 1979.
You tweeted that out. You tweeted that. You tweeted a comparison between Boudreau and Roger Nielsen out from March of 1979. For the kids out there, John, and for people who might not remember, what do you remember? Because it was crazy.
Well, I was in about my third year at Hockey Night at that point, and what had happened is the Maple Leafs had lost 2-1 to Montreal on Wednesday night, and Dick Beddoes chased Harold Ballard down the hallway at the Montreal Forum saying, "You're going to fire Roger, you're going to fire Roger," and Dick got Harold to say yes. Now, this is before social media, this is before tweeting, this is before Friedman could say confirmed, all that stuff. and so what happened over the next 2 days was Harold said, "Yeah, I'm going to fire him," but then he couldn't find anybody to take the job. John McClellan, his old coach, wouldn't take the job. Jerry McNamara wouldn't take the job. King Clancy was sick. So there was nobody in the Leaf family that would take the job. So Saturday morning, he decided to bring Roger back on the condition that Roger would wear a paper bag. It was originally a garbage bag, and they finally settled on a paper bag over his head to come out from the Leaf dressing room behind the bench to thunderous ovation. Harold was a circus promoter, right? He believed in this kind of stuff. And Roger had agreed to do it until about 40 minutes before game time, where his best friend and assistant coach Al Dunford said, "Roger, you can't do that. That's embarrassing." So Roger didn't do it, and then got fired at the end of the year. It was there are so many similarities between. I hope there aren't in the end between what was Vancouver was going through now and what the Leafs were going through then. Because the following year they hired Punch Imlach to come back as general manager, and then he fired Roger, he traded Lanny, he traded Darryl. I mean, he blew the franchise up, and it took them 12 years to recover.
John, Kuzmenko is done, but Bo Horvat's agent, John, I'm going to tell you something. Newport Sports, the entire staff was here for 3 days. I'm not just talking Pat Morris. I'm talking Wade Arnott,
Craig Oster, Donnie Meehan. What a nice
Mr.
time
Carter.
to sit. And Mr. Carter as well. But what a great time to sit down with Newport to talk about Bo. And they got no call. There was no meeting. I think it's pretty obvious what's going to happen with Bo now.
Well, I think Jimmy said it in his Monday press conference, is that they think they've given him his best offer.
Yeah.
And now the question becomes, as you go around the league, what will be the best offer? Who needs Horvat the most? Who will sacrifice the future themselves a little bit in order to have Horvat play for their team? And who has? And the other thing, Rick, and I think you know this, and you probably said this and tweeted this 28 times. This to me is a sign and trade.
Yeah.
This to me is, let's get the principles of the deal done with Jimmy Rutherford and Patrick Allvin. Then let's talk to Newport to work on an 8-year deal. And then, similar to the Matthew Tkachuk deal between Calgary and Florida, it gets announced as a Matthew Tkachuk trade after signing a deal with the original team, so he can get 8 years. I think that's the game plan now. I think it's inevitable.
But the problem is, John, they never gave JT Miller's agent permission to talk to teams last year, and up to this morning, they haven't given Pat Morris permission to talk to teams. I mean, we're closing in now. It's 5 weeks to the trade deadline. Maybe if they get closer, they say to Pat, but boy, oh boy, everything I've heard is they do not want to give Pat permission to talk to teams.
But but it's a little different. The first step in this scenario, Rick, is the framework of a trade first.
Yeah.
What is the framework of the trade?
Yeah.
Whether it's Seattle, whether it's Detroit, whether it's Boston. I mean, whether it's the Rangers, get the framework of the trade done, and then then Patrick phones Pat Morris and says, "Okay, we've got the framework. You go get a deal done for your guy in that city." All right, and that's how I envision this happening now, between today and March the 3rd.
Hey, John, what do you remember about Rick Tocchet, the hockey player? Not the coach, the player.
One of the toughest, grittiest, prolific wingers the game has ever seen. A classic power forward. I saw Rick play for the Don Mills Flyers as a midget player. Then in Philadelphia, he and Derek Smith and Scott Mellenby were Mike Keenan's young guys. And Keenan was, Tucker will tell you over a beer, I bet, that Keenan was tough on them. But he groomed them into being solid two-way players. Rick could score. Rick was a winner as a player. Rick was a winner. That's what he did. That's why he was so successful in Philly at a time, got to the Stanley Cup final there. That's why he was a player in Pittsburgh when they won Stanley Cups. Rick's a winner, and I wouldn't want to mess with him at any point on or off the ice.
John, safe travels. We'll talk. And thanks for doing this. We'll talk to you next week.
Gabe Kaplan, right? Gabe Kaplan.
Yeah.
One of the best teachers of all time.
Yeah. Also, Gabe Kaplan, you know this, John, an excellent poker player.
Really?
We often see
That's
him
right.
in poker tournaments.
Right.
Yeah.
He did lots of commentary too for poker when it was hotter than a pistol.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Cheers, boys.
We'll talk to John next week.